your eye on Philadelphia and A.J. Brown. The last 20 games, nobody has run the ball more than Philadelphia. The soul of the offense is Saquon Barkley, the O-line, and Jalen Hurts. I would argue they use tight ends about as effectively as everybody else. So right now, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have come out to publicly say, I know he only had one target. We are very proud of A.J. Brown for understanding it was just one of those kooky games where we didn't throw to a wide receiver. But one target, to me, to A.J. Brown feels very much like the Randy Moss, New England, Miami game. It's not about catches. They didn't even target him. So here is A.J. Brown on Sirianni and Jalen Hurts sending him flowers saying, hey, man, we appreciate you understanding you only got one catch.
Oh, I didn't like it. I'm not, honestly. I mean, it's cool to make an example out of it, but I'm not in it for participation trophies. I'm cool. I'm cool on that. I'm not answering. That's a setup question. I'm not answering that. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not answering that. But I'm going to focus on myself. I'm like my effort and what I do.
So, and just remember, New England needs a number one. New England was slow, sluggish, and deliberate in week one offensively. Mike Vrabel has worked with A.J. Brown.
Okay. And can't wait to see A.J. Brown have to work with a second-year quarterback. Listen, first off, I fear we're already taking the whole participation trophy comment, not out of context, but we're confused by what that means. He's pretty much saying, don't give me some sort of award just because I was there. He's not saying, I expect to get all the targets. I need all my numbers. That's what it's about. Like, he's pretty much saying, like, don't stop. Don't give me that nonsense. Don't give me flowers. I don't give me a participation trophy just because I showed up. I wasn't a big part of why we won that game on a more surface level, right? If you want to make the argument of some of the other things where it's just like his presence there is important enough and helps dictate the offense and all of that. But like, don't do that type of nonsense. You know, coaches have done this before in the past. You see this all around, and I've had it done to me too, where it's like, if I don't get a lot of playing time or something like that, they'll single me out and be like, and he still works just as hard as everyone else. And it's like, okay, you know, you don't have to acknowledge that I still work hard, even though I'm not getting a lot of playing time right now. Like, let's don't single me out right now. But like, coaches do that type of stuff all the time. But like, I just fear we're making a bigger deal about this more. But I already made a really like an impassioned video about trading A.J. Brown and all of that, and it was when Colin did with JMac, the Herdline News or whatever, you know, their little news thing that they do. And rather than trying to like recapture all of that, I'm just going to cut together that clip, and that's really now going to share all of my other points with that. That some of it's going to make sense, some of it might not make. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to cut this, but some of it, all of it will make sense. The only part that might not is like, because he was talking about it because of the running back who they traded for, and that, you know, and he was talking about like 5th and 6th round picks and whatnot. And so that's obviously not in this clip. So I'll see exactly how I end up cutting this all together. But I just wanted to let you guys know, because it just felt a little weirder for me to pretty much already record that clip and then try to now like recreate that. It just didn't seem authentic enough to me. So I figured this would be the best way to go about it. But it does excite me though, because the one other thing that I want to add is that before Colin has gone on and talked about how you don't really need great wide receivers, and he talks about, you know, how some of these great teams have not had great wide receivers over the years, and how they're consistently top in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, and whatnot. And it's like, my answer is like, and they haven't won the Super Bowl. They haven't even made the Super Bowl. And people now want to use the Kansas City Chiefs, and like, you know, they got rid of Ty, and it's just like, they had Travis Kelce, who was an absolute monster. And the moment he stopped being an absolute monster, this offense absolutely crashed. And now the Kansas City Chiefs are desperately looking for a big wide receiver. They desperately need Rashid Rice. They desperately need Xavier Worthy. That's why they drafted him and traded with the Buffalo Bills. That's why they traded and tried to get out and get a DeAndre Hopkins and whatnot, right? Like their offense has never been the same since they got rid of a Tyreek Hill. And they've been very fortunate that their defense now has been absolutely lights out, especially in 23 and 24. And if it wasn't for that, it would be really hard. And also, if you believe that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are the greatest coach-quarterback duo of all time, using them as a reference point as to what other teams should do doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. And to keep trying to pretend like the Philadelphia Eagles can move beyond an A.J. Brown and just be completely fine, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me unless A.J. Brown is putting up a big issue about this, and Harry Roseman knows something that nobody else knows in terms of injuries and whatnot. And that's where I'll lead into the other part of this clip. So you'll see me look slightly different in talking. But, you know, it'll make sense. I promise you, teams should do they want to empower their run game? Because they may be moving off a star receiver in Philadelphia, A.J. Brown, 1 target. Let's empower our run game. So you want to further just alienate A.J. Brown at some point. You're going to need him. No, I'm saying alienate. We are going to empower our run game. Add 6-7 touches to the run game. Yeah, that means alienate the receiver. You're not giving it to him anymore. It happens. I'm just saying it was an interesting move this morning to go get a solid number 2 running back. Hold on. A.J. Brown is still a top 10 receiver in this league. Is he top 5? That means why wouldn't he be willing to give up a 5th and a 6th for Tank Digsby? Because you think you're getting a 5th and a 6th back with an A.J. Brown trade? You won the Super Bowl. First thing I thought, Howie Roseman wins every trade. He just gave up a 5th and a 6th for a backup running back. Depth matters, my friend. Or he knows he's moving A.J. Brown and getting a pick mid-season. Come not mid-season, it could be in 3 weeks. Interesting. Okay. There is a lot to unpack here. Colin also implied that you could trade A.J. Brown and just get a 5th and 6th pack. Are we out of our minds right now? Are we out of our minds? What? I can't even fathom that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And right, they're acquiring B as buy so they can just move on from A.J. Brown. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me for Howie to make some huge move where he trades in A.J. Brown, but it would be in a way that empowers the Eagles even more so, in a way where you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe they just pulled that off. And that's just in this immediate moment. I'm not 100% sure what that is, and no one knows that move, because if we could just figure out what a move like that would even remotely look like, and to be clear, I'm not even saying that's on the table, but let's just say it is, you're not as good as Harry Roseman, so you have no idea. Okay? If you had any idea, then you would be Harry Roseman. And if you were Harry Roseman, then you would be Harry Roseman. If you invented Facebook, then you would have invented Facebook. So we're getting lost here. They want to add versatility. They, like the Eagles, want to be resilient and versatile. Resilient, versatile. Resilient, versatile. What is one of the biggest things that stops teams from repeating? Injuries, getting stagnant, kind of just trying to copy and paste what you did the year before and getting banged up, saying, why, hey, Saquon Barkley was a monster for us. Well, let's just keep giving it to him year after year. That's not the way it works. You start to degrade. Look at Christian McCaffrey. I mean, like, you know, look around the league. And so they want depth. They want to be resilient and versatile. Resilient and versatile. BSBI is a different type of runner than a Saquon Barkley. You also still got A.J. Dillon as well. So I think they want to obviously continue to use Saquon Barkley, but I think also when there's games when they're up, you know, I don't know, it's the 4th quarter and it's 21-7. I think they really want to minimize handing the ball off to Saquon, handing the ball off to Squan, handing the ball off to Squan. They're just like, nah, we don't want to do that. You're too valuable. You're too important. Yeah. There's a chance for you to get an amazing breakout run and now put us up by 28. We don't need that. We really don't. What we need you to be is fresh and ready to explode in the NFC Championship game and Super Bowl. That's what we need you for. And if you do get banged up throughout the regular season, whether it's Shipley, whether it's Dylan, no matter what, no matter who it is, it's like, we're what? Say it with me. Resilient and versatile. Resilient and versatile, but like Tinfo had about A.J. Brown, like no way. And again, even if they end up moving on from A.J. Brown, which I don't think they will, the only way they will is if A.J. Brown is like, get me out of here. Which would also look so bad because you're just like, we just won the Super Bowl and we want. And A.J. Brown's like, get me out of here. What team would want that? Seriously. I mean, seriously, think about it. What team is like, I want the guy who wants to leave the Super Bowl winning roster because he just wants more touches? Like, what team is like, give us that guy? Seriously, what team? Even if you're a great contender, you're just like, you want the guy who then doesn't even want to be with the team that just won the Super Bowl. Like, that doesn't make... It's one thing if Eagles start like falling apart, then I could understand it a little bit more, or so. But like that's a tough guy to then add to the roster there. So again, if A.J. Brown, if Howie is actually cooking and he's just like, man, we don't actually need A.J. Brown, which again I don't think is true in any stretch of the imagination. Or if he's just like, man, A.J. Brown is injured and A.J. Brown continues to be injured and I think A.J. Brown's best years are behind him. Let's say that's just a conclusion that A.J. Brown makes, or excuse me, that Howie Breaks makes. Again, that'll be a very conscious and targeted decision that he would then make based off of information that we don't have and an ability to evaluate a player at a level that we cannot because we are not there. So that's why all this random speculation of just, hey, Jay Brown's a little unhappy, so I think that the Eagles might move him, that's nonsense. The only way that happens is if Howie is going to be able to just be like, what? Wow, I can't believe you just pulled that off. Or, A.J. Brown is actually not healthy, and the Eagles reach the conclusion, you know what? It's going to be hard for him to continue and reliably stay healthy over these next couple of years. So, you know what? Let's flip him. Let's get something in return while we still can, but like I said, that would be a decision and a move that none of us have information on. So everything else is just wild, absurd speculation. But getting a Tank Bigsby, because and giving up a 5th and 6th and saying, well, he did that because you can now trade A.J. Brown for a 5th and 6th. It's like, wait, what? Like, did I hear that correctly? Right. Boarding to go get a solid number 2 running back. Hold up. A.J. Brown is still a top 10 receiver in this league. Is he top 5? That means why wouldn't he be willing to give up a 5th and a 6th for Tank Bigsby because you think you're getting a 5th and a 6th back with an A.J. Brown trade? I don't know. Unless he's saying that they're going to get the 5th and the 6th and something like, and you know, other things. I don't know. I don't know, man. You guys help me make sense of this a little bit because I'd be struggling. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles acquiring Tank Bigsby? What it means for the Eagles, the idea that this is in service of trading A.J. Brown. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun, and please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.